Okay, I am Dave. This is Benjamin.
I think I have pain on my back.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Okay, well, Benjamin wants to talk about what today? Are we still talking about breakaway troubles or
Washaway troubles.
Washaway troubles. Why did I say breakaway?
Because you refused to don't break.
Oh, that's why. If you think about it, I might have. Go around and get it. Okay, anyway.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Tirsia's babysitting, so she's having a little problem. You won't be in front of us at all. Just go get it and go. My goodness. Hey, whoa. What you doing, Benjamin? That's the other Benjamin. Anyway, this Benjamin.
It's a baby that conveniently has the same name as me.
Is it convenient? Is she coming right now? Don't go outside. It might be cold for the boy. Okay. Hello. Anyway, we're discussing. Why are we discussing Washaway troubles again?
What?
I thought we pretty much discussed them to the T, except for maybe future plans.
We haven't gotten down to writing any of it down, Dad.
Well, we're recording it all right now, so I don't understand, because we can turn whatever we're recording to written work. Did you know that? You can do it automatically on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Do I need to show you how to talk to the computer to get it to write your words?
Okay, I made a plan to give each of the main team their own video.
Okay.
You know, discussing their lineage, their powers, their personality.
I think that's something that you can do along the way as you're writing the story. I don't see that we have to cover every last thing of every last one right away or first.
Well, I mainly want to get the back.
But we don't
the
need
history of where powers came from and such.
Well, that's something that we've talked about too, and it was from a super soldier serum that somehow was put into the atmosphere, and people who got exposed to it via the rain became super strong.
Superhuman. It's not a super strength to have.
Superhuman.
Some of them have different powers. If you're curious, flight is one of the rare abilities.
I could see that.
At least. And
do you know Superman actually can't fly?
Is also a super rare thing. Well, previously Superman couldn't fly.
No. Even today, he technically doesn't fly. He has a power called tactile telekinesis. So when he touches things, he can use them to. It looks like he's super strong, lifting stuff and all that. But what he's doing is making it lighter. It's not that he's super strong. He's actually making things lighter. And he can do that with the air, and it makes him lighter.
And how does that work with a bullet thing?
Faster than a speeding bullet? Means that he can fly faster than the speed of sound. But that's because of his tactile telekinesis working with the wind.
I meant how does that mean the bullet doesn't harm him?
No. That his body is super hard. That's why a bullet doesn't harm him. Because Kryptonian biology, they're denser. Their bodies are denser than human biology.
Okay, some of the bullet thing makes sense.
It should. And he's just, more densely packed. His atoms are more densely packed than human atoms. So that's why.
Another important thing to note. Oh, it is. I don't think that's canon anymore.
It is canon.
I said I don't think it's canon anymore.
I said it is.
Or I meant it's probably not in the main DC universe anymore.
Yeah, I think so.
I meant the comics, Dad.
Well,
not
I think
TV
they
shows.
brought that back when they were trying to renormalize him and make him less overpowered. Because he was so overpowered before it was ridiculous.
That was the golden age.
That was in the 1960s and 70s and early part of the 80s. It was in the latter part of the 80s that they had the Crisis on Infinite Earths and changed it.
Yeah. You're still in denial about Jason Todd originally being a clone of Dick Grayson.
He was not a clone of Dick Grayson.
It was an original thing.
No, it was not.
As in Teen Titan comics. Started appearing less and less in Batman comics.
No, it was not. He was not in Teen Titan comics ever.
I watched the video on him.
Oh my goodness! I read the comic books. I was there. I collected all of them.
Are you ever going to accept history this way?
You're talking a change history that was not canon and is not canon and is just some alternate ridiculousness. I do mean ridiculousness.
You're in denial that Barbara Gordon isn't your first Batgirl, are you?
She is the first Batgirl.
No, she was. That was a completely different person as Batgirl.
It was not.
Barbara Juice in the first Batman TV series. Remember the live action one?
It was Barbara Gordon in the live action TV series too.
Yeah, she was an original in said series.
Yes.
And then, and she was so popular, they started adding her into the comics.
That still makes her the original Batgirl.
Now it makes her the most popular Batgirl.
No, shit. Oh!
Well, the first one was some other lady.
I don't believe you.
They're Batman.
I'm
they were originally designed to be love
You're
interests.
breaking canon now. Sorry, I cannot listen to you.
Well, you just watch Variant. He's very...
Variant has made mistakes multiple times because I've owned the comic books that he's talked about, and he's screwed it up and messed up the story.
They don't always let you remember them.
No, God, no. Variant is just... Home. Home. Peace, love, good vibes. Blessings of the Lord be upon you and upon your posterity.
We literally had a lot of stuff to talk about. And you seriously...
You're the one who's gone off the edge. Over the edge. We're not even...
I point out you're the
troubles now.
Be all about comic books.
Troubles.
It's comic books, Dad.
I know the comic books.
You're thinking after.
I read them before you were even alive.
You weren't even alive in the Golden
Age.
Age.
Thought.
Dad, you weren't even alive in the Golden Age.
The Golden Age was the 1940s, and Superman was not overpowered back then.
He actually was.
No, he wasn't. Never mind.
As you see, he was...
The original Action Comics, Superman was not overpowered.
It's a bad opinion. Anyway.
He couldn't fly. He could only jump. Long distances, jump.
He was also super strong.
Over a tall building.
It wasn't the Superman TV show when they introduced things like his laser vision.
Vision.
I don't think it matters what it's called. It's still lasers.
Because, well, when they redid him, they made it more of a factor of seeing his eyes a certain way in order to gain the heat vision.
How does that go with his whatever?
I don't know, because he had to be able to focus his eyes differently to do heat vision, X-ray vision, telescopic vision,
and cold breath.
He didn't have to focus his eyes for the cold breath.
I pointed out that that's another power he has.
Yes, I know.
How did he even find that? Where does that come from anyway?
I don't know. I have no clue where that came from.
Yeah, some people just label off as more ridiculous than anything. Some of the blatant reference characters of Superman, like Homelander or Omni-Man, and do not contain any things like the cold vision. Homelander does contain most of the basic powers, the strength, the speed.
I don't know who that is, Homelander.
He's the main antagonist in The Boys. Remember we talked about The Boys a few times?
I've never seen The Boys, so I cannot relate. War even comics.
Yeah, it was 2006.
Yeah,
Like when the comics first came, and a lot of other, and a couple of years later.
2006 wasn't the first year of comic books.
No, that's when The Boys came out. Was 2006.
2006. Well, they've been on for a good long time if they're still on.
No, the comics were.
The comics came out.
Yeah, it was comics first, and then a couple of years later, the TV series was made.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and many people say the TV series is better than the comics, and they're perfectly right. The comics are just horror.
Read the comics.
I wouldn't suggest it. You'll just make yourself feel like a terrible person for reading them.
I can believe that.
So it's very rated R.
Yeah,
that's one of the main points where
it's kind of like Mystery Men, or not Mystery Men.
Yeah, that's one of the main things where they point out. Now, there's a very big difference to what you show on the screen than on the page.
Yeah, there is a big difference.
Yeah.
See, but on the page, your mind fills in what they're suggesting.
Yeah.
You're not necessarily seeing anything
It's blatantly disgusting.
Oh, well, that's horrible.
And there's blood, gore, or murder all around.
Okay, I'm good. Sounds like a Wolverine comic. Or a Punisher comic.
I think this makes sure both.
I don't think so. Punisher is really more violent than Wolverine most of the time. But
I said a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Oh, The Boys is filled with reference characters. There's the various classic superheroes like Captain America, Iron Man, and Wolverine, and Superman, Batman, and the list just goes on.
Okay, but we're not talking about them.
Yeah.
We're talking about Wash Away Troubles.
Yeah, this would be either past.
Yeah, but they're
we're trying to make
a government-run group.
Oh, this is discussing the events of World War III. Remember?
All right, but World War III was caused by the fact that people were creating super soldiers, and the only way to retaliate against them was nukes.
It wasn't until a few decades later, after the war vaguely ended, that
so the war is actually
the superhero they were originally using only granted temporary powers. Which is why they were so easily destroyed by the nukes. Because by the end of it, it had lost their powers.
Yeah, but after a nuclear war, everything is an upheaval. There would be governments gone, nations wiped out. It would be horrifying. Picking up the pieces, the people who had to start picking up the pieces and fixing things as best as they could.
They always destroyed a small amount of superhumans, to be fair. They still had a formula. The U.S. were getting scientists.
Right.
He claimed to be the original creator of the formula. In actuality, he wasn't.
Oh, who was?
A man named Dr. Joseph Wellerman.
Okay. Where was he from?
He was a German.
And Wellerman created the serum.
Wellerman.
And the other guy, but in Germany you pronounce W's more like V's.
Oh.
Wellerman. So, you okay?
Fly.
Oh. You go over, and who's the guy that's claiming that he was the original creator?
I haven't thought of a name, but he gets killed.
Oh.
Not too.
Okay, but he perfects the serum, and then the U.S. has it? Is that what it's happening?
Yeah. He had his own perfected version. He created permanent powers.
Okay, so why did Wellerman's not?
Because of the fact that Wellerman wasn't doing one specific thing. He heated it up to about 25 degrees, but didn't cool it by 15. He cooled it by 5 degrees.
So it was a difference in how the chemical creation was made, a difference in heating and cooling that made the difference and whether it
Yeah.
was permanent. And Vellerman didn't know that.
Yeah, he was going to break through.
But why did
the
Germany
other guy
create these
attacked
super
him.
soldiers?
Nazis, Dad.
Oh,
They
those Nazis
wanted
taking over. Okay.
an instant win. That formula.
And that didn't give them an instant win. It gave them death and destruction and annihilation.
The nukes killed mostly the superhumans because those were where the nukes were aimed at. That were specific military bases.
But the effects are going to affect the civilian population and things that are around it. Like Hiroshima and Nagasaki saw some terrible effects.
Oh no, Dad, you had to pay attention. This is still technically in the future.
Right.
So they would have more
But
knowledge
even
on
Chernobyl
how far
caused-
the waves and energy would go far.
But even Chernobyl caused people to suffer deleterious effects for years. I don't even know if they're done having deleterious effects because technically that reactor is still active. It's just melting further and further down. So we don't know how long. It may be contained well enough now to where in another 50,000 years the place might be okay. but people have moved back to that area. So
Anyway.
Because Chernobyl's in Ukraine.
The people that volunteered for it, because there was one major problem.
Mm-hmm.
Despite his confidence, deep down, he wasn't really sure or it would work the way he wanted to.
Okay. We're going to have to wrap up because Mama's coming inside.
Yeah, anyway,
Create a whole
that created the main team of superheroes. I'm not sure what they're called.
Thought you said they were called Washaway Troubles.
Oh no, Watery Troubles is the later team. This is the first team of
okay.
superheroes.
So we'll have to.
So they're like the Avengers and Justice League, I guess.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. The Justice League could have been done better by DC. I don't know why the guys over there who work for the DC Comics part of Disney did such a horrible job. They always picked directors who had never read a comic book.
The actors.
Doesn't matter what the actors are like, it's what the directors are like.
Arguably.
And the writers.
You can't.
You gotta have writers that actually like what they're doing and that actually have read the comic books so they know how to make a character believable and good.
There are other good things
the
on
guys
DC.
who did Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman of this modern era with Gal Gadot, I think they did a really good job, except they said it in World War One, and I think they should have said it in World War II still. There was no reason to set it in World War One. There's no good reason, at least, that I could see. But they did an overall good job on the movie. Now, Wonder Woman 1984, totally different story.
Anyway, well, the heroes from that would be.
There's a dog in my face.
The heroes from the original team would be Termination, Captain Eagle, as some people call him.
Yeah. Okay.
Then there's Black Justice.
Okay.
It's
Thought we had a whole discussion about
that was yesterday, Dad. Leave that video.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
Who else?
Weather Girl.
Okay.
Insect Man. You copy the powers of insects.
Weird. Okay.
Maker. He could make things.
Okay.
Thinker. He could think. At very, very intelligent levels.
Okay.
He could also read minds, to a degree. Then there's Stretchy. She is a stretcher.
She can't be called like elongated lady.
Pretty sure that be copyright.
Yeah, I don't know. Stretchy girl. Stretchy woman.
Flexi lady. Does that work?
I don't know. It just doesn't really. I don't know. We'll have to look at it some more. But okay, that's cool. But look, we have to stop this now.
Yeah.
I know it's not as far as you want, but we'll stop it right now. Okay.
Yeah. And if you're curious, the temporary powers can become permanent. But sad part is the amount of dosages it takes for one to kill you, allegedly, it takes time for you to or body to adjust and such, which is how Velleman was taken out. He was jumped up on the stuff and sealed in a pod that had the stuff flowing in it into him for years.
That's awful. Okay.
It was like a cryostasis.
Okay.
And once he woke up, he was unstoppable. But there was a problem. He didn't remember anything for a very long time.
Okay. We'll talk about
he's
that
kind of like
more
the Crow.
next
He
time.
needed to grab old photos and such, and then he automatically remembered
Eventually.
everything.
We'll talk about more about it later.